Hi, and welcome to the Work It Story Suite. I'm Carrie Kirpin, and I am here today with Lisa Baird, who is the Chief Marketing Officer of the United States Olympic Committee, recognized as one of the top CMOs, according to Business Insider, top 50 actually, very exciting. And today, Lisa, you're going to tell us about one of the biggest jumps in your career that you ever made. You had sort of a dream job at the NFL, huh?
I did have a dream job. I worked at the National Football League. I was the Senior Vice President of Marketing and Consumer Products, involved in a number of initiatives. And there came a moment in time where I just realized that I had to take the needle off the track, for those of you that remember records, and go to a different tune. And it was a really hard choice, very difficult choice.
So first of all, how did you know that you needed to take the needle off? Did you just hit a certain point? Did it build over time?
You know what? I think it was knowing that I wanted to do so much more than I was doing at the NFL, even though I had a terrific job, worked with great people. I really wanted to have a broader impact. And there were some things about my prior careers at IBM in particular where I was able to work on global issues that were missing for me at the NFL.
And so when you went to tell me about the decision to go to the United States Olympic Committee. How did that come to be? How did you get there?
You know, first of one of my first paradigms is always work with people you respect and you like. And particularly as you move along in your career, it's so much nicer if you can work with people who you've worked with before. And that's been a theme throughout my career. So Larry Probst is the chairman of EA Electronic Arts, and I worked with him at the NFL, and he had taken on a new assignment as the chairman of the Olympic Committee. And when he gave me a call, I knew I was going to listen to him. But he painted a picture of opportunity that, you know, I really had to think about, because there's so much risk going to a new environment. Anybody faces those questions in their minds. But I kind of thought through it, and I went, right time for me to make an impact. And the impact at the USOC, which is a not-for-profit, is not only from a business standpoint, but it's immensely personally rewarding.
And so what advice would you have for young women who are they're feeling like it might be time to make a change, but is it the right time? A lot of women are held back by the fear of risk of going to a new place. How do we evaluate those decisions?
You know, I learned this from someone else, it's not mine, but you can have work-life balance, but you may not always have it at the same time. So for anybody, but women in particular, come to me with this question is, you know, there's two enormously important stakeholders. Those are the stakeholders of like what you want to do with your career, but what is your family saying to you? How are they going to be impacted? What did they get out of it? And a lot of times it's hard to ask that question, because you think of your children as, you know, maybe being sacrificed if you're in a travel-heavy job, as I've been my whole career. But what my kids got out of this particular job, and I've now been doing it 9 years, was to see a mother who's making a difference in people's lives, to see someone who's taken the trajectory and brought something and contributed to a legacy. And I don't know if I ever would have done that, to be honest. I don't know if I would have had that kind of personal impact at the NFL. And therein lies one of the hardest choices I think you make in your career, is where are you personally going to make an impact? Where you are, or is it time to look at somewhere new?
So it's when you realize that you need to make more of an impact is the time to go. Or you want to. It's like you've achieved what you need to at this organization, and it's time to make a greater impact.
And how, you know, and for me, I've always been driven by how can I personally contribute? How can I be part of something? How can I build something? So, you know, things like, can I build a great team? I did that. Could I bring stability and strengthen, you know, what I've done marketing and brand-wise? I've done that. Could I point in a direction where there's a greater role for the U.S. on the global stage? Yeah, in the commercial and business ways I have. And I don't know, because the NFL is very, very successful on its own, with a lot of successful owners, a lot of successful leadership, and kind of a business model that's, you know, it's pretty entrenched.
Yeah.
And this was more entrepreneurial and more startup, which is funny. That's what I wanted at my stage of career.
And it paid off big time.